what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in to Third Strike After School Episode 2. I'm your host Daisuke. Thanks again for joining. So maybe for those who might not know me, I'm a Japanese player living in New York, playing Third Strike in the States. And then I actually since I moved here, I have played in so many cities in the States and even outside the States, and then I met so many amazing people in each community. So I started this channel just last week, so this is a super newborn baby channel, right? So thanks for tuning in to this newborn channel. But what I wanted to do was actually in each community, whenever I traveled, people are so welcoming and they're so eager to learn about the game. And I've seen actually so many new players in the past 2 years, 3 years, right? So I was thinking I really want to dedicate to those new players or players who are very, very eager to learn about the game in depth. So that's why I started this channel. Thanks again for tuning in. Alright, and today we're gonna have a rising star. So very, very new and young player on this show. So welcome to the show, Atu.
Hello?
Hello. So
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. And also, people in the chat, if there is any audio trouble or anything like that, just let us know. We're gonna pick up your comment. So, but thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right. So maybe we're gonna of course do the analysis of your video, and then we're gonna also talk about the game and mechanics and the systems in depth today. But before jumping on that, maybe tell us about yourself, right? So where are you playing, and then who are you playing, and then how long have you been playing this game and all that stuff. So maybe give us a quick intro of yourself.
Sure. Hi, I'm Alan. It's very nice to meet you all. I am 19. I am from Chicago, Illinois, and am currently going to school at the University of Dallas in Irving, Texas. In that same area is where I am playing with the lovely Third Strike community of DFW. They're the ones who got me into the game as not a fluke, but just kind of randomly. I encountered the arcade and started playing. I think it was September of last year, so coming up on 1 year of having played the game now. And it's just been a magical ride. It's been so much fun to get to know everyone. Everyone that I've met has been super welcoming, not just limited to the DFW scene either, but really all the scenes that I've interacted with across the country. Just from me messaging people, saying, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Just kind of a general asking questions. Everyone has been super welcoming and friendly. It's been great. I play Ibuki in Third Strike. I know we've had a lot of kind of up-and-coming Ibukis, but I guess I'm part of that wave. And it's just it's been great so far, and I'm super excited and grateful to be having this opportunity to talk more Third Strike because I can't get enough of it so far.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So you said you've been playing less than a year. Is that right?
Yes. So I started last September. After I got to college. It was a month of classes, and then I started kind of exploring the area of DFW with my roommate and some friends, and we stumbled on the arcade. We were like, hey, let's go play some skee ball. We never played skee ball. We sat down at Third Strike, and there were already players playing there, and it was just we fell in love with the game, and that was September of last year. So under a year, but coming up on the 1 year.
Right. But have you ever played any fighting games in your life before Third Strike?
No. So actually, completely out of left field, the whole Third Strike thing. A lot of it has to do with the community because I had never actually. I guess I played maybe the old Smash once or twice. So I can't say that I've never played a fighting game, but I definitely never. Tried my hand competitively or done anything like I'm doing now, but yeah.
Okay. So you basically started with how to hold the stick, how to press buttons, how to do the like handle command, like all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, that I swear the DP command, half circle command, that took me like months to learn. It was so hard for me to learn that. It was so foreign. The motion controls for the stick command, it was really hard for me.
Okay, and then after less than a year, what's your thoughts right now? Like once you got used to the command execution, did you get used to that, or are you feeling still weird, or what's your take after less than a year? Like,
I think my execution has gotten a lot better. Well, I say about myself personally, I think it's gotten a lot better. I think I still have a lot to improve on. I don't think it's perfect, and not just improvement on execution wise, but in terms of game mentality and just knowledge of the game and tech and mechanics and all that kind of thing. I still have a lot to improve on, definitely, but better than a year ago for sure.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's good. And okay, so let's talk about the game a little bit more. So today you picked up your own video for us to kind of analyze together and talk about and discuss the game, right? So which game did you pick up for today's show, and like what's the reasoning of picking up that game?
So I had the great blessing of being able to attend the Jazzy finale. Well, I was hoping I would get to, just because I live in Texas for school, but during the summer I come back to Chicago for summer break to visit the family and all that. But I did manage to visit for finale, and the game that I picked out was a game that I played in my pool against FM1, who is an amazing player, a player that I was super excited to meet and to play because I had watched his stuff in VODs and videos just to study the game. I'm a big fan of just watching videos and seeing how really good players play the game.
Excuse me,
how they react to certain things.
More than my view, are you saying like you are watching FM1 more than Daisuke's real, right? Is that correct?
I was watching them at around the same level, I promise. It was like a 50-50 split. I made sure of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's much like fancier and like more technical, so of course you should watch his videos. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, please.
But and the game that I played against him, it was a lot of fun, but it made me realize just how lacking I am in terms of kind of my game experience, because that kind of experience gap was super noticeable to me when I played him. I wasn't ready for kind of the pressure that he had, the mentality that he went into the game with. I was really impressed and really, I was terrified. I was really scared. When I was playing him, I could feel the pressure mounting. Yeah, I guess I just really wanted to maybe bounce some ideas back and forth as to how to approach. I felt like I got opened up a lot by his Ryu. I felt like I was pressing buttons at the wrong time. I felt like he had me, really downloaded. The game is a bit painful to watch because he's very good and I am not as good. So it's a bit of a landslide towards the end. But I guess that's why I'm here, just wanting to talk about it and improve from it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we will analyze what was happening in the match. But that means basically you are climbing up the bracket and then you are able to face him, right? It's not great because you played less than a year and then you are able to play one of the players you respect, right? And of course more than me, right? And then that's very cool. Like how did it happen? Like that's just a fascinating success story going on there, right?
Yeah, I definitely felt really blessed to be in a position where I have so much free access to all the resources that players, who've been playing for 20 years might not have had at their beginning. There's so much footage on YouTube at this point, so many guides, tutorials, tech manuals that players like me who are just starting have access to just off the get-go. As well as the community being so receptive and welcoming. I know everyone from my scene has been extremely nice and open and ready to answer questions all the way in the beginning. From it was like, oh, you're flashing blue. What is a parry? That whole thing to all the way to like more advanced stuff like what is guard jump and that kind of thing. Just advancing and advancing. I definitely feel like a large portion of a lot of players like me getting better is really attributed to just how great and amazing the third strike community as it is now is.
All right, okay, that's good. But eventually, you want to like beat even like those amazing people, including FM1, whoever they are, right? That's why you are playing and you want to get better. So yeah, I think maybe let's actually get started with your match versus FM1, right? And then let's go through the matches and let's see what was happening, right? I think maybe some of the people in chat might not have seen this match yet. So let's take a look together and let's see what is going. So I'm gonna switch to the game screen. Can you guys see the screen now? I hope so.
Yes, I can.
Okay, then let's get started. So, okay, thanks guys. So, I think so at the time when I started playing the video, you already got the first game in FT2 setting, is that right?
Yes, I was lucky enough to squeeze one out over Huan Zian. And then the switch to Ryu happened, and then the game completely shifted. The mentality shifted, and I was faced with something I hadn't faced before.
look at this guy's face. This is a guy thinking about some landslide happening in his brain, right?
Oh no, he's thinking of the best way to demolish the player in front of him, which ended up happening.
Yeah, look at his face, like he's thinking how to crush this young kid, right? How let me give him a lesson, right? Like
oh yeah,
right?
And the lesson was definitely learned.
This lesson learned. Okay, so let's deepen the lesson together today.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then here we have Atsu here. Alright, so this is the game 2 in the FD setting. After you got the first game, he switched to Denjin Ryu, his main character. Yeah, okay, so let's take a look. So you started with the ground game, and he threw you. Oh my god. Corner pressure here. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. It's a very quick first round.
Yep, it was definitive.
Right. Okay, so let's run through the first game, right? Don't take a pause and let's just. Okay, in the corner. All right, so it was kind of a quick first game, right? Yeah, actually the second game though. So what were you feeling after this second game? It was kind of quick, right? So what were you feeling? Like how did you try to kind of rebuild your momentum and stuff? Yeah.
I think that is actually one of my bigger problems because I kind of attribute it to me playing almost asleep because it was like I recognized that I was hitting buttons at the wrong time and he was opening me up really easily and just me not playing well, but I couldn't really put a finger on what exactly I was doing wrong or how to switch it. And in that sense, it felt like I wasn't playing very aware. I felt like I hadn't gained enough knowledge just from that game to be able to switch up my play style, change my habit to match, the intensity that he was playing at. I was just really lost and confused, and I went into the third game kind of lost, I would say.
Okay. So, like, to be frank, like, were you confident when before starting the game 3, did you want to have a quick break, or like what was your like mental feeling then? Like were you ready for the third game, or like?
I did not feel ready. I felt like I felt like if I could have had like, maybe a couple hours to dissect what had just happened, then I would have felt confident.
Okay.
But no, at that moment I was very hesitant and very afraid.
Okay. So there was like no like hyperbolic time chamber type stuff at that moment. So
No, unfortunately not.
unfortunately, okay. So let's take a look at the third game. So regardless of the result, this is gonna be the last game of this FT2.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, we are asking the people in the chat about what they think, you know the why like they thought like this game was going wrong, right? We want to discuss together and pick up the comments after watching this third game.
For sure.
Okay, so far good, right? You are kind of taking control at this point. Looking good. Oops. Nagete.
Oops.
Oops. Okay, but still, you are in a good position. It's 50-50 at this point.
Yeah, I definitely felt a bit more or less that I was getting rushed down. I just wanted to slow the game down at this point because I felt like you said, the second game went really fast because it was just really one-sided in terms of momentum.
Right. You actually slowed down the pace, right? And now it was working really well. But let's finish the next round and then let's revisit that round later. Yup. Now this round, you landed the jump in and you keep the pressure. Looks like you are winning this round, right? Oh my god! Jesus. One parry. Huh?
Yep.
Oh.
One parry to completely shift it.
Is it? Jesus. Okay, so the last round was kind of quick game. Alright. Okay, so looking back, what do you think? Like, what was going wrong? What was not working? And why kind of, those games are kind of quick, right? What do you think about those? And also, again, like, people in the chat, if you have any, like, thoughts or, if you notice something about his kind of, lost causes, we want to discuss with you guys as well. But Atsu, what do you think about it? Like, what was like going wrong actually? Let me, while we are talking, let me play the same games again, right? On the background. But this is the game 2 we just watched. So what was going wrong actually? What do you think?
I think in the second game more so than the third, but in the third as well, I feel like I was kind of falling into a pretty predictable pattern. I've noticed even when I'm playing casuals with friends, I kind of fall into the same kind of zoning pattern. I press a lot of buttons. I use forward heavy kick a lot. And I know Juan parried that in the third game to really get the momentum shift. So I feel like if I had just played even slower, that's a big problem that I have, and that's something that one of my teachers in DFW tells me a lot, is just to slow it down so I don't get either too predictable or, press a button that leads to a free parry and a big punish. I think I was just playing a bit too fast and not as aware as I should have been.
Right. That's actually a great suggestion, to be honest. Also, we have people commenting in the chat, so Sick, that's dope. That's a really actually dope name. So he said basically you should have like utilized jump back to reposition repeatedly. I think that's actually kind of makes sense. It's kind of relate to what you said. Basically slowing down the tempo and kind of checking out what your opponent's doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think either like a jump back or even just blocking and standing in one spot just to kind of shift the tempo would have really helped me out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay, let's rewatch the third game, right? Okay, and Marathon Cake said most of the times you are basically, open up because FM1 was, having a good dash in, and then I think what he was saying is dash throw was always working. You got thrown. I think that's
Yeah, for sure. My reactions on the dash-ins could definitely be improved.
right. So he started the game with throw again, and you punished. So this game was actually going really well, like we discussed, right?
Mhm.
So the last like 3 seconds, 4 seconds were really quick, right? I think we will discuss this point, but it's very weird because at this point the staminas are almost the same, right? Moreover, actually you have a stamina lead, right? You are kind of like winning the race. But in these 2 seconds, your stamina was already like close to zero, and then he closed out the game, right?
Yeah.
So the last 2 seconds were very quick. This is something I think I want to discuss today.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was a bit too aggressive at the end, and if I had just kind of kept my lead and, been a bit more patient, it would have helped. Yeah, and the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah, like classic dungeon dungeon ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thanks for the comment in the chat. And now yeah, thanks for your own kind of analysis too. I think yeah, all we discussed kind of makes sense, right? And then yeah, so with that, so I want to start with the first lesson today, right? In short, today's lesson is all about defense. I want to talk about the defense, right? And let me pull up the agenda of the lesson today. Here we go. So today's lesson is basically two things. Thanks again for the input in the chat, and also Atsu, thanks for your own feedback on yourself. But my feedback on the video today is basically two things. The number one is the what I call the 80-20 rule. Okay. Then the second thing I really want to dissect today is wake up mechanics. Right. Those two are basically about the defense. And then to me, what you mean by like being good at third strike is basically being good at the defense, right? Would you agree, Atu?
Yes, I definitely would. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I always think this way because I mean, offense is you can do some crazy things, right? If you play, let's say, like strong super like Genejin or Denjiang, I mean, anyone has one, maybe one opportunity or chance to kill even like better players. So offense is of course important, but defense is where you have more control, to be honest, and that's what I want to talk about today. But let's start with actually the very first one, the 80-20 rule, right? So this one, what I think about is, yeah. By the way, thanks Neem. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and it's very true. Yeah, it only takes only one mistake to end the round versus SA3. That's so true, and that's why defense is super important, right? And then back to the 80-20 rule. So what I meant by this is, to me, when I play this game, I spend 80% of my time to watch out what my opponent is doing versus me trying to proactively attack and then rush down my opponents, right? Again, I don't say I'm the greatest player in the on this globe or I'm the best player. I will never say that. But my point of doing this class is I want to share my thought processes with with the new players or mid-level players or even like with the top players, right? Like Nim or other really good players. And then I want to kind of discuss this game further more. And now if we can take away something as a whole, that'll be great, right? Everything is from love, and for the community. But before I start some long monologue, right? Let me go back, get on track, right? Get back on the track. So I think not only me, but good players are always spending time to watch out your opponents, what your opponent is doing, right? So that's what I call the 80% of my time. I'm always watching out, right? And then also, when you watch out, what you can do is, to me, watching out is equal, right? Synonym to stay on the ground, right? I'm gonna explain this with the reasons. So in this game, once you take off in the air, you have zero control about your trajectory, right? So it's more than like predictable because it's not even prediction because you are designed to designed already to land somewhere, and then it's not a prediction but it's already designed by the game, right? And then the only thing you can do in the air is basically doing the parry and also pressing the buttons, so attacking, right? Those two things are the only things. And by the way, this is a little bit on the tangent, but that's why like characters who can change the kind of trajectory in the air are kind of strong in the air. But still, my point is, in the air, you have less control than when you are on the ground. Therefore, you want to take your time on the ground when you want to spend your time to watch out your opponents. So far, am I making sense? Atu?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the 80-20 really does make sense, and I think it'll really help to go over that because for me, it kind of feels like I play less like 80-20 and more like 20-80. More just spending 20% watching them and 80% just trying to hit them over and over. And if it works, it works. But I don't really know why it works.
Right. Yeah. Exactly right. And then what's more, you are playing one of the lowest health characters, right? So that means one hit really matters, right?
Oh yeah.
like eating one throw might be fine for some characters, but for you, one throw, one sweep really matters, right? We just watched that nightmare-ish 2 seconds where your stamina was going from 40% to 0, right? It was really quick.
Very fast. Yeah.
Very fast, right? And that means, again, for you, one attack, one throw really matters more than other characters. And that means you really have to stay focused on what your opponent is doing, right? And this might sound a little unfair, right? Because some characters have a better health, right? But that's not the case because you don't have a big health. You have a mobility, right? You are much more agile than other characters. And if you don't take advantage of your own merits, right? Like why you are playing Ibuki is because Ibuki is very fast, very agile, very mobile. If you don't take advantage of your, good side, right? That means basically you are throwing away the possibility of your own victory, right? By the way, I might sound too theoretical, but this is just how I approach this game, right? So sometimes I
appreciate it.
Right. So with that, maybe let's take a look at the game again, right? And then let's see if my 80-20 theory is actually applied to what you did, right? So let's take a look at the game again. Go back to the game review over here, and then let's maybe go back to the first round. I don't take a pause this time, right? Because we have already watched this match at least twice, right? So
sure.
Yeah, I want to avoid the redundancy here. But basically, the very beginning of the round, this is great. You started with very slow pace, staying on the same position as opposed to, approaching without any pressure, right? So you are basically staying on the ground and then trying to keep your own area. That is very good. But once he started throwing, you already lost 40% of your stamina, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is something we're gonna talk later. And then again, the corner game started, and then by the time he threw you again, he got the meter. That means basically you will be dead, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but this is, it is what it is, right? When you face against the Denmin player. So here is the real problem. So once after you lost the first game, right? You started off the second round with this jump in, right? Then you ate uppercut, and this really matters because you are a low health character. Then you ended up doing the EXDP because of course you want to reset the situation. And now he did one more uppercut, right? Because you didn't follow up on the EXDP.
Right.
And then at this point your stamina is already half, right? So I think this is what you are a little bit maybe too aggressive, right? Maybe you should have slowed down. I think that's your own takeaway, right?
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel like I gamble a bit too much with Ibuki's life, which is not a great game plan, especially if I'm not really focused on deciphering what the opponent is doing, how they're reacting to my stuff. I feel if I had a better grasp on that, it might be more justified, but yeah, definitely not in this match.
Right. So again, at this point, like you are not using the like kind of mobility of your own character, right? And then again, mobility doesn't mean you have to proactively hit your stuff, right? Mobility means you walk fast, you walk back very fast, you have really good like jump attacks. No, sorry, actually jump fireball, air fireball, right? The dagger can actually really control the space well, especially when you use the EX meter. So I think one thing you really should do is even against the like top players or well-known players, right? Like FM1, right? You always stick with your ground game. 80% of the time, you should stay on the ground, spend your time on the ground, and then just let's walk in, walk back, and then do some really good pokes. You have very good poke tools, right? Actually, which buttons are you usually using on the ground? What is your go-to buttons on the ground? Let's say against shoulders, against Ryu, Cam. What do you use?
I see. I don't know the correct answer. I would probably use crouching medium kick or crouching forward just because it has good range and it stops a lot of dash-ins and stuff. I think standing medium kick is also good. The knee for stopping dash-ins. I think maybe back. I think medium kick is just really good in general. And the back medium kick, I don't use at all Smash, but it has a really far range and it's good for spacing. Yeah, I would think those are good buttons. I'm not completely sure though.
Yeah. Thanks for your answer. I think that makes sense. And but if you are not so confident about your own answer, right? I think that's a really good thing because that's where you can definitely improve, right? Because because I said you should spend 80% of your time on the ground. Then finally, once you have some control on the ground, you should start jumping, right? And if that's the case, to take control on the ground, you just have to understand what buttons can beat which buttons of your opponents, right? So that understanding is the very beginning of everything about Third Strike, especially when you play Ibuki. But actually, this can go for any character, I think. Okay. So I think again, to understand which normal can beat which button from your opponent is very important. I think maybe you can spend maybe the next year, your next 2 hours, 3 hours when you think about some matchup, probably you can always start with that. What bottom, what balance is, are the right answers in each matchup, right?
Right.
And then with that, let me quickly showcase, a couple of ideas here. I actually switched over to the training module here. Can you see the training mode here?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so let's quickly showcase something here. I don't play Ibuki, right? I don't play, but definitely I play against Ibuki, right? I used to team up with Tenran, which is a very annoying Ibuki, who I actually got some input for this lesson, right? Because I wanted to kind of run a match by Tenran, and I wanted to see how he felt, right? And then yeah, but that's another story. So let's talk about it later on. Okay, so but a couple of ideas here. So first of all, I'm a shoto player, and as a shoto player, I really want to take control on the ground. And then, question: which button do you think shoto players prefers on the ground?
Maybe crouching medium kick.
Yeah, good one. Anything else?
Ooh. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Okay.
I would think one of the long range, like, because I know when I was first starting out, when fighting shotos, I would get hit with a lot of the big far reaching kicks, because I was never really super ready for them, because I'm always expecting either crouching medium kick or crouching medium punch, kind of as a starter for super and stuff. But the big stuff always got me as well.
Right. Yeah, and chat says crouch medium. Yeah, Emperor Punch, indeed. that move is so broken too. Yeah, so let me actually show you as a shoto player, what I'm thinking on the ground, right? That's the starting point. So you have to understand, if you are playing the other character on your screen, right? What would you want to do, right? That's very important to understand. So for me, the regular tool is like this. Like you said, low forward, right? Oh, what a short foot here, right? Because my low forward is shorter than my sweep. Okay? Of course, low forward is shorter. And by the way, Ryu's low forward is much shorter than Ken's one. Okay, so there is a difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. Of course, why not?
Oh, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me.
No, I'm saying like, yeah. I'm not like, criticizing you. I mean, well, the reason I said of course is, there is a concept that, of tier, right?
Sure.
I'm kidding, yeah. But yeah, Ryu has its, his own merits here. But let's talk about the tool. So I want to do this, and then also because sweep is longer, I want to do this. I really want to do this in the max range, because this one is super long, right? This one is much shorter. But these two are basically the main tool on the ground, right? So that's the first understanding. And then, like, the chat said, crouch medium punch, standing medium punch, those are also very, very good too, right? So you have to think about this one, this one, this one, this one. And on top of that, this one is also effective. In my case, right? Ken's case is different, but Goki and Ryu has a really good poke with stand medium kick, right? Those are very, very safe, long, and very strong hitbox. And with that, from your side, right, what you can do is so against the low forward, right? Low forward. So this thing is usually a very strong tool in any matchup, but actually there are lots of exceptions. So shoto players are always thinking low forward is the best tool in any matchup, but that's not necessarily the case. For you, right? You have a, like you said, long back medium kick, right? So this one is very good. But more than that, you have a forward medium kick, right? and also more importantly, forward roundhouse. So this one is definitely the key tool in your
Yes.
in your toolkit, right? Would you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah. So the problem of this tool from the root side is, so I said basically, sorry, one second. I think I should record maybe sweep as well. So I said sweep and low forward are the tools I use, but actually both are easily, I mean, one-sidedly beaten by this move, right? So this means if you start your ground game with this tool a lot in the proper range, basically you can always beat Ryu's moves, right? And even even other moves like this one is really good one, but this one can be also beaten by this thing, right? One-sidedly. So this doesn't work in this matchup from Ryu's perspective. Even stun medium punch, this one is usually very good. Everybody uses this one to stop the dash punch type stuff, right? Like shoot dash punch, Alex slash. This one can stop basically everything, but this also doesn't work, right?
Huh.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I didn't know. I knew forward roundhouse was really good, and I feel like I do use it a lot, but I didn't realize just how many buttons it could beat out.
Exactly. Even this one, right? People called it Emperor Punch. Yeah, indeed, it's the best button, one of the best buttons in the game. But this one can never beat your shit, right? So this one is basically stupidly strong in this matchup, right? So this is actually the what giving us the trouble in this matchup. So question again, what do you think real players should do if this is the case? Basically every button was already proved it will be beaten by the forward roundhouse. So what would be the answer from Ryu's side? What do you think?
Again, I'm not 100% sure. I would think maybe play around with the stay out of the range of it, or maybe fish for parry just within that range if Ibuki's doing it a lot, which I know Juan ended up doing to me. And then I don't know, maybe play with dash-in timings.
That's a good thoughts. And then I'm picking up the comments from the chat. Actually, Rios Monk. I don't know how to pronounce you, but he said parry. So that's one of the answers, right? Yeah, you can place parry, right? And then, like you said, also he can kind of walk back and then let you whip your, roundhouse. That answer, right? But this means basically you will start taking over the control on the ground once you start showing this effectively, right? And then, of course, you can still use this one. This one is really good too. Do you know how many frames you are disadvantageous after this one? Let's say this one is parrying. Do you know how many frames? How many disadvantage frame do you have?
I have no idea.
This one is ultra safe. This one, when it's parried, you have only 3 frame disadvantage. Okay.
Yeah. And I know that it's pretty hard to punish. I think the only times I've actually gotten punished with it on parry, like a true punish and not just maybe like a walk-up throw, is maybe a Chun crouching or crouch jab into super or something like that.
Correct. Practically, there's only 2 real punish against this move when it gets parried, right? One is Chun's crouch light punch, which is 3 frame, which is ridiculous, right? So it's gonna be a punish if your opponent times it correctly. Then the other answer, easier answer, is actually Ken's DP, which is also 3 frame startup. Okay, so those 2 are the punish. But what if I do DP with Ryu? What do you think?
Probably doesn't.
Yeah, of course, right? He doesn't have such privilege, so of course it gets it'll get blocked by you. But you have to be careful when you input down after this move. That will extend your disadvantage frame. Okay, your recovery frame is gonna be extended if you down or do down. Okay.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, let's check that. This is actually completely a tangent. I didn't mean to talk about this thing, but let's talk about this a little bit. So let's change it to parry, right? And then let's check the. Can you see the data here? It says -5, by the way, which is a false. This is a false data, but let's follow what this says. It's -5, right?
Okay.
But if you like hold down, can you see the number? It says -6, okay? So you really have to always hold back as opposed to hold down after this gets parried. Otherwise, even Ryu's DP is gonna be a real punish. But that's completely different story. But my whole point is, as long as this move is parried, even when it's parried, if it's the top of the move, there is no punish from anyone else, okay? Except Ken and Jun. So this is also one of the key moves. But if I go back to my main point, what I was saying is to beat her roundhouse, forward roundhouse, Ryu has to either place a parry or walk back, right? That means you are limiting his option. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So this is definitely a key move to start something on the ground, right? And from my side, right? Yes, parry is right, and also walk back is right? But if I want to be a little bit more proactive and aggressive, I would use this move. Okay? Roundhouse. So this move is the only move that can preemptively beat this roundhouse. If it's, timed correctly, right? Before this roundhouse start, forward roundhouse start, it will be shut down, okay? So, the ground game, let's say this is about Ibuki versus Ryu, you really have to understand, you really have to condition your opponents to do roundhouse, right? So if you start doing this a lot, they have to either walk back or parry or roundhouse, right? And then once they start doing roundhouse, oh, this is not roundhouse, sorry. Where was that? This one, right? This is a big move, right? So you can do slide, you can do even sweep, right? So there are lots of punishes, but this is maybe how you should approach in the ground game. And then now we are talking about maybe some specifics in this matchup between Ibuki and Ryu. But my whole point is, this is not applicable, only applicable to Ibuki or Ryu, right? Anybody in the game should think about what moves you should use on the ground against what moves, right? And then you have to understand the combination, the full set of combinations. Then you can actually start taking over, the ground game. So I think I want to take a quick pause here to address any questions from you and also from the chat. Any thoughts, Atsu?
I think it makes a lot of sense, and this is the kind of thing that I really wish that I could or not that I could think of on my own, because I'm sure I've thought of stuff like this, but I've never really taken the time to hash out, not even just in matchups between Ibuki and Shotos or Ibuki and Chun, but just in general, universally, buttons that can beat out other buttons or buttons that I should be using more on the ground. That's not really something that I've ever really considered. I just would kind of try out different things, and if it worked, but I never really understood why.
Yeah. So do you think this could give you a little bit of a clue about how you should approach and how you can compose your ground game?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of my strategy in the past has been, Ryu, Ken, Chun, all of these, and this is the case, that, these characters are super strong on the ground, and I'm more powerful in the air as a Ibuki or whatever, but it really does bring to light the fact that I can compete on the ground as well. I just need to know my options, and I need to know what beats what and what I should be approaching with.
Exactly, right? I use Ryu, right? So let me talk about Ryu versus Ibuki. On the ground, I think you might be actually better this might be in your favor.
Oh wow.
Let's go back to what I talked with Tenryu, right? His only feedback was maybe not for you, but for maybe anybody. What he said was, "Oh, bro, Ibuki is a ground game character. You can jump. You know, ground game is all about Ibuki, right?" And then he basically, hung up the phone right after this comment, right? So it was a super quick call, right? I was expecting to have more inputs, but I think for him that was the most concise and then most accurate feedback slash input, right? So what he said was, round game is all about Ibuki, right? And then of course you have great air moves, right? You have cross up, you have air dagger, you have target combo, you have everything. But let's start thinking about how to take control on the ground. Okay? And then once you kind of master the ground game, that's when you should start thinking about the next step, which is how to jump in, how to rush down, all that stuff, right?
Right.
And then I think someone in the chat actually mentioned back jump and also neutral jump. I think those are also super effective, right? You can do the neutral jump dagger, right? And then
Yes.
you can kind of take time. So my suggestion is take your time, right? Like I said, let's use at least 80% of your time on the ground. You walk fast. Look at this. You walk really fast,
Yep.
right? And then you have very good slide attack. This one is, by the way, super strong too. This one is also strong. This one is strong. This one is also strong. And now, good thing is this one is even strong. The crouch medium. Believe it or not, this one has only actually -1 on block. By the way, the number on the screen is a little bit messed up. There are many reasons why this is messed up. I don't explain why, but basically
I'll trust you on it.
Basically this one is -1, means this is a really good low forward. Ken's low forward is -3 on block. Will's one is -4. Okay, so this means you can really use a lot of this one. The only risk is this is not cancelable. So once it's parried, it's gonna be a problem, right? You don't have any follow up. But on the contrary, this one is quick. You can kind of mash this one twice, right? Or 3 times. Maybe 3 times might be too much, but show this, right? And then once you condition your opponents to do a down parry, let's do this, right? Something like that. You can get creative with your character. That's why she's awesome. Okay. So that's the number 1 lesson today. Before going to the second lesson, any questions from you, from the chat? Any arguments? Oh, Daisuke, you are lying. You don't play Ibuki. You messed up, right? Any comments? Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think so. I honestly think that was explained pretty well. That kind of opens up a whole new world of just possibility and kind of. I feel like this whole time, it might have just been made apparent to me right now, but I feel like I haven't been using her toolkit or her moves as effectively as I should. And I feel like even that slight change, using the proper button at the right time, I feel would have helped me in my match against Juan and will definitely help in matches going forward. So I'm super appreciative of us going over that.
Okay, and by the way, to your credit, before going to the second point, second lesson, I think you actually did really good job on the ground here and there, maybe even without noticing. So let me point out a couple moments from this match. So I will skip a couple of parts, but like I said, in the round 1, you are playing the solid ground game in the beginning, okay? You are staying here and basically playing very safely, pressing right buttons here and there, okay? But because this roundhouse was whiffing here, it was a little too far, and therefore he was able to dash in and punish, and then the whole scramble started, right?
Right.
By the way, this whole scramble over here, look at this. You are getting thrown because you whiffed this one, right? Let me do slow-mo. Again, the nightmarish 2 seconds started here. You got thrown, one dashed in, one through you again, right? And then you ate this medium cake on your wake up, right? So within the 1 second over here, you lost 30% of your stamina, right? So this is...
Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah.
No, I was just kind of sighing because it's absolutely true. A bit sad, but very true.
Right? And what if you didn't lose your stamina over here? Maybe the game would go a little better, right? Probably, right? We don't know how it would go, but probably it will go a little better if you didn't lose stamina over here, right?
Right.
So that's the lesson 2 today, which I will talk about in a minute. But let's quickly check where you did really well. Okay, so this is the second round of the first game. Very terrible, what you call, like terrible, I think, jumping over here, right? Yeah. So this is a very terrible jumping, and then you're eating a lot of
very, very uncool jumps, yes.
Uncool, right? Yeah. So by the way, guys, so I created this nice, yeah. Anyways, like, nice little kit to judge the guest play going forward, right? So when you play really bad, I'm gonna just give you guys uncool mark, okay? So, but when you did very well, I'm gonna give you give you props as well. I'm a very fair person, believe it or not, okay? But
I believe it.
of course, I mean, but I just want to be straightforward. When you are bad, I mean, no, you are not bad. Your play is bad. You gotta improve, right? And then I just want to point out where you can improve because you are talented, okay? Okay. So I think let's wrap up the first point real quick. But there was definitely a really good moment from your play. Over here, you did the slide in the max range. Look at this. Very good. This is really good. This gives you even plus frames. This is really good, okay? Let's keep moving. Then you are pressing what you call forward medium kick. This gives you plus 6 frame as well. You can keep your pressure, right? Then you still stick on the ground and hit nice button, and you punished as well, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
So just to show you guys, I'm a fair person. I give you props here. Okay.
Oh, incredible! Thank you so much.
Okay, but over here, even you are hitting lots of nice little items here, right? Again, max range slide, and then like I said, low forward. This is incredibly hard for the shorter players to deal with because this is quick, right? So once you show both forward roundhouse and medium kick, like low attacks, that makes it so hard for us to deal with, right? This was a good parry from FM1. It was really good from his long years of experience. He did nice parry, but as you can see, you are playing very well here and there, right? But the unfortunate moment came again, right? You guys were in an even situation up until now. You eat EX Fireball, you eat Roundhouse here on your wake up, and then you got punished by throw again. When you lose your stamina, it's always super quick, at least in this set, right? And now, it was always when you were waking up. Okay, let's go back to the very first round. Very first round. Over here, so let's skip a little bit. You are thrown, right? We are familiar, at this point we are already familiar with this theme. You are thrown. You are thrown again, right? And then you ate this one, and then you lost basically 40% of precious stamina, right? So today's second lesson is about the wake up, okay? So let's go back to the lesson agenda here. Guys, so today's lesson number 2 is Wake Up Mechanics 101, okay? Wake Up Mechanics. And then the reason I really wanted to bring this up is so many players have a big misconception about the defense, especially around the wake up, right? I know you guys are talking about guard jump, you guys are talking about throw invincibility, all that good stuff. Right, right. But I really want to ask, you guys seriously understand how you can put it together in the actual game mechanics, game plan, right? Of course, I know. Even when I was being a little provocative. Of course, many players are very good at the defense as well, right? So don't get me wrong. But I just wanna set the tone here, where I would say, especially in the States, I think the defense mechanics, the understanding of defense mechanics is, I think, slightly off over here. So I think that's where we, as a whole, kind of improve together, including myself. I've been thinking about this a lot these days, right? As a real player, I have to be super like careful about the defense, right? Because my character isn't broken, right? So is your character, Atsu, right?
Sure.
Not broken at all. So we really have to. But even like players with their good characters has to be very careful about this point. So that's what I call wake up mechanics 101. And before starting this lesson, I wanna pick up a couple of comments from chat, and also Atu, I wanna ask you about what options are the primary options on your wake up. Do you have any answer about this? So what do you do when you are waking up, like versus FM1 we just saw? So what do you do?
I love guest pairing. Guest pairing is my favorite thing in the world. It is not very consistent, so I feel like a better option would be blocking, maybe guard jumping. I don't think I have the best understanding of guard jump, but I know that's also an option. I know Ibuki has quick buttons, so if someone's going for kind of a delay attack, I know I can wake up with a button and sometimes catch someone like that. If they're going for a parry on wake up, my command throw, Raida, can beat that out. I'm not sure about many more. There might be a lot more that I can't think of.
Okay. So can you summarize what you do? You said wake up, quick button, right? That's one thing because it's quick. And then you said also Raida on the wake up. Did you say that?
Yes.
And anything else?
I think I said guard jump and then just parry.
Parry. Yeah, those three are all valid. Yeah, all valid. Okay. So let's dissect the wake up mechanics based on what you said, right? And also, sorry, I'm trying to pick up the comments from the chat. But yeah, so let's start dissecting the wake up mechanics over here. I think everything you mentioned is actually valid, right? But what I want to do here is how valid each tool is and why, right? What's the reason behind that, right? What's the difference between like let's say wake up light punch and wake up Lida, right? What's the difference? What's the difference between wake up parry and wake up, let's say, some bottom, right? So that's what I want to dissect right now. So let's go to the slide. By the way, I'm planning to this class for around 2 hours each time. And then I know 2 hours is a very long time for you guys watching the show in real time. And thanks again for joining. Seriously, I really appreciate. And please spread the love to the people around you. Especially if you have somebody who are new to the community and the game, or who are into playing this old yet awesome game, right? And please let them know, here we have a good resource. You can take advantage of this channel. You can even reach out to me, right? Of course, there are so many other great players. Of course, you guys can reach out to them as well, but I'm here for you. So please spread the love to your community, people around you. But let's go back to the lesson point. So this show is gonna be 2 hours each episode, and then it might be a little too long. So I might maybe start inserting quick break between lesson number 1, lesson number 2, something like that. But today, sorry about that. I'm gonna just run through the whole show without any break. So let me actually shift to the lesson number 2. So Atu, let's recap what you said in the following textbook. Alright guys, so here we have Wake Up Mechanics 101. Can you guys see the chart on the screen right now?
I can see it.
Okay, cool. I know like you mentioned like the guard jump and stuff, but let's forget about like those advanced techniques, okay? Let's
for sure.
Yeah, let's start with the basic bread and butter options. So one thing before starting discussing the effectiveness of each option, what I need to mention is actually the throw invincibility when you wake up. So Atu, first question is, I guess maybe you know about this, but did you know there is a throw invincibility when you wake up? Did you know that, or?
I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's really cool. So basically, on your wake up in this game, let me actually pull up the finger here. So this chart, how you read this chart is basically under 0 frame, you are starting to wake up, okay? So this is the 1 frame before actually you're gonna be waking up, meaning you are still fully invincible, okay? Then, from the first frame of your wake up until 6th frame, you are invincible against throw, but this is not against attack, okay? So you are invincible against throw. And I know you guys would say, oh, Daisuke, this is just basic. I know this from maybe 20 years ago. Why are you talking about this right now? Right? Yeah, I understand that. I hear you. But please bear with me. This is the whole starting point of this mechanic I want to talk about today. Okay? So there is a throw invincibility. This is what makes this game really interesting because believe it or not, in the very first Street Fighter 2 World Warrior, there was no such concept, right? And can you imagine what would happen in that kind of world? Can you imagine? What?
Not really.
Right? So what was happening was there was a thing called throw loop. So once you got knocked down, basically you will have to eat like throw loop until you die, right? So that's so broken, right? So, yeah, because basically throw is gonna beat every move in Street Fighter, even in Counter-Strike. There is a little complex mechanics behind this, but let's skip that complexity right now. The only thing is basically if throw and then other moves, let's say, happens at the same frame, always throw is gonna win. Unless the other move is like invincible, like for instance super and stuff, right? But basically throw is very, very strong in this game because of that reason. But back to the point, there is a throw invincibility from the first frame to 6th frame. So this is very important to understand the options you can take on your wake up. And then, based on that, let's start with what the attacker would think. What they can do, what they would do is usually they would do the meaty attack, right? On the first frame of your wake up. This is called deep meaty, right? So as soon as you wake up, the knee kick of this hobo guy is already there, right? So it's a very unfair moment. That's why wake up offense is very, very important. And then the other thing they can do is meaty throw. But because of this throw invincibility system, your meaty throw can only happen on the 7th frame as opposed to the first frame. Okay? Are you following?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is still basic. Okay? And now, based on that, let's start thinking about what you can do, right? How you can handle these most common wake up offense options, right? The things you mentioned was actually reversal attack, right? Such as light punch, some fast button, right? And then this is something you didn't mention, but some people do reversal throw as well, right? Then you mentioned also reversal parry, right?
Yes.
And then if you think about it, the first two options have already some flaw here because definitely your opponents would do their meaty attack as a primary choice. Most of the cases, your opponent is gonna do the meaty. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. So that means basically if their meaty timing is correct, those two options, reversal attack, reversal throw, those happen after the meaty attack, right? So this means you can never win, theoretically, right? That's just simple as that. Okay? Then what you're gonna think is, okay, let me do reversal parry, right? This is gonna be the meaty attack, right? Although it's 50% chance I can get big punish. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can do that. Yes. Again, it's just 50%, but you can parry the meaty attack, right? Then let's think about the other option of your opponent. So they can do the meaty throw as well on the 7th frame. This means if you time your reversal attack correctly, this can beat the meaty throw. Did you know that? Of course you know that, right?
Right.
I guess. Sorry for rushing you down, but
It's fine.
when you say like I sometimes do rider on the wake up, right? Did you in what situations did you do rider? Why do you do rider? What's the reason?
I feel like the only situation that I can really think that it might be useful is if the opponent is expecting like maybe an EXDP. If I'm throwing that out a lot on wake up, sometimes that might influence them to try to parry on my wake up. I don't know if that's something that is smart to do or not. And reversal rider sometimes work and sometimes doesn't. I'm really not sure why I should or shouldn't be throwing it out, but yeah.
Okay. So that's a good answer. So thanks for that. So the reason you might want to do reversal rider is rider starts up on the 4th frame, right? Oh, actually 5th, 4th, 6th, somewhere around there. But anyways, the point is while you are doing rider, right? You are still throw invincible. This means when they go for meaty throw, you can beat their throw. Did you get that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? In other words, the only reason you might want to do rider, with some few exceptions, but in the grand scheme of the things, the only reason you want to go for rider is because you read meaty throw, right, as opposed to meaty attack. Therefore, you go for rider. And then, by the same token, to be honest, you can do just reversal bottom, like reversal light punch, light kick, right, even medium kick. Anything that'll fit into this 6th frame throw invincibility window. Every option can beat the opponent's meaty throw. Are you following?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know I had so many options off of meaty throw.
Right. So that's the first thing you want to do is whether reading whether your opponent is going for meaty attack or meaty throw, right? And then with the options you have here, the problem is there is no single option that can cover both meaty attack and meaty throw. Let me explain. If you choose reversal attack such as rider, it can beat meaty throw, but it'll be beaten by the meaty attack, right?
Right.
Just like what happened in the match versus FM1. You ate his sun medium kick, right? This is a huge damage against the low health character. You basically ate this one. And the second thing, reversal throw. The same goes for this one. You will eat meaty attack because you choose this option. And then this one, the good thing is when you do the meaty throw, actually, technically this is not right, but when you do the reversal throw, there is a possibility that you can actually your throw comes first, and then your opponent's meaty throw is gonna be take, right? So this is not totally right, but let's cut the corner for now. So reversal throw can at least stop meaty throw, but definitely lose against meaty attack. Okay.
Right.
And then the last answer, the reversal parry. What do you think about this? What's gonna happen? Let's say when they do meaty attack, what's gonna happen if you do the parry?
Well, I'll have, like it says, I'll have a 50% chance to parry it, whether it's a high or low. And of course, it'll lose to meaty throw.
Correct. And then do you know why it's gonna lose against meaty throw?
Because you can't parry throw.
That's a good point. But what about like when you, let's say you take while you are doing parry? What do you think?
Oh yikes! I have no idea.
No idea. Good answer, because you can't. Okay. So when your parry window is open, which is 10 frame in this game, you are completely vulnerable against throw. You cannot do take. Okay.
Oh, what?
You can't. You can never ever take throw when your parry window is open.
That's crazy. Oh wow.
Yeah, and now, yeah, this is actually again a little bit like, I'm going off on a tangent, but that's why when your opponent has 0 stamina on their wake up, right? What would they do? Is of course parry your special to shut down the chip out, right? Therefore, you should definitely go for throw, because when they open their parry window, they are vulnerable to the throw. Okay? So smart players don't chip out, they will throw when the stamina is 0 on the opponents. Does it make sense?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to start deciding whether the player that I'm playing is smart or not to defend against a chip out or a throw.
Exactly, but actually that's the great point. That's all about Counter-Strike. The very first thing you wanna do is you have to read your opponent's level before even you start reading their specifics. The level reading is the most important thing. Okay, that's why you have to take time to observe your opponent. That's therefore 80-20. Okay. So, but back to the point, when you open the parry window, you're gonna be vulnerable against throw. No matter what you're gonna do, you're gonna get thrown. Okay?
Makes sense. That's crazy. I had no idea. That's amazing.
And then again, there are some exceptions to avoid this scenario, but that's a very remote possibility to do so. I don't even know if people in the chat know about how to do that. There are a couple of ways to avoid being vulnerable against throw even you started parry, but that's a completely exceptional scenario we shouldn't care about in practice. So yeah, but anyways, so that's how it should be. And then so to wrap up, all the options we have here is not completely safe. Would you agree? Right?
Right.
To wrap up, the first 2 options can beat meaty throw, but it will be beaten by meaty attack. Then the last one has a 50% chance of beating meaty attack, but which is a gamble, and then completely vulnerable to the throw, right? And if you think about it, parry shouldn't be your choice, to be honest, on the wake up, because this has so many flaws, right? The only reason people rely on parry is either they stop thinking about the game, or they are smart enough to be wanting to be very, very kind of rewarding, right? They want to get the most out of one action for some reason, right? In some situations. So that's when you have to go for parry, right? Let's say you have 0 stamina, your opponents have 90% stamina, but you have 3x super meters, right? Why don't you go for parry to make some crazy comeback happen, right? But if your opponent is smart enough, they want to go for attack, because you are most likely going for parry, right? In that scenario, because your stamina is 0. That's how the whole game dynamics are kind of
That's so complicated.
Exactly. Yeah. So you want to understand what is rock, what is paper, what is scissor in this game.
Right.
Right. This is exact rock paper scissors, but in a very fast sequence, right? So you gotta be Go ahead.
That's amazing. It makes it even more complicated, at least to me in my head, because not only is it rock paper scissors, because there will definitely be options that beat out other options, but then we have to factor in the variable of who is it that I'm playing? Is this player gonna do the smart thing, or is he gonna try to throw a curveball? Is he, a crazy player? And then on top of that, what's the game situation like? Is it, am I in a very bad life deficit and that kind of thing? Is it better to go for one option over the other? There are so many, like I said, variables that it's crazy complicated when you stop and look at it like this.
Well said, right? Exactly, so many variables to understand one person in such short amount of time, right? Right? Then again, 80-20 rule, right? My motto is, if you are a smart player, right? Like, let's say hypothetically, you are a smart player. If you are smart, the more chances you have to read the opponents, the better chance you are gonna win the race. You know what I mean? If you are smart, you want to take time to basically have more chances of interactions. Again, the more interactions you have, you're gonna better win the race, right? That's my motto. And then I think that goes for every good player, right? And then back to your point, yes, it's crazy, right? So how can you control such a huge number of variables in the game, right? In such a short amount of time, right? Then here is the idea, okay? This is a very outdated technique. I know people in the chat would say, "Oh, we all know this dice game. This is too late. I mean, I've been playing this game since 1999. I know this from 20 years ago, right? Yeah, I know, I understand. But again, hear me out. So the option, right? I'm gonna give you today is this, right? What if you can cover both options? Would it help you? Let's say one option can cover meaty attack, meaty throw. Would it align with what I call the 80-20 rule? And then my motto of having more chances can give you a better chance to win the race. Would you think so?
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So therefore, this is a very old classic tactic in this industry in Counter-Strike, but let's forget to not give this a credit, right? Which is actually delayed tech. Okay? So before start discussing this thing, delayed tech, right? I have to explain the tech window, right? The mechanics of tech window. I want to actually sorry, this is my mistake. I want to actually go back to the second row in the attacker side. There is a meaty throw here, but we actually put the tech windows underneath this, chart here, right? So in this view, what we are saying is, for the attacker to make the throw meaty on the 7th frame, they have to input the throw on the 4th frame, because the throw setup in this game is 3 frames, okay? Which is the fastest in the game. Of course, there is 1 frame super in the game. 2 frame super in the game. That's an exception. But outside of those exceptional supers, basically throw is the fastest, okay? 3 frame. And meaning again, the opponent is going to input the throw on the 4th frame. That will happen on the 7th frame. And then in this case, you have a tech window on the 4th and on the 5th, as well as 7th, all the way up to 11th. So in short, before throw is going to be effective on the 7th, you have 2 frames where you can take before even even the throw happens. Then you also have another 5 frames post throw, throw being active. Let me take a pause. This might be sounding a little complex. Are you following the mechanics of the tech window so far?
I think so. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. It makes sense in concept. I feel like I need to just process it, but yeah, it does make sense.
Right. Okay, yeah, I think this is a little complex kind of mechanic if you face this one for the first time, right? But just please hear me out for now, okay? So, but
Sure.
the idea is even when the throw happens on the seventh frame, you still have 4 more frames to be able to do tech. Are you following?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So let's put my small cute used finger on the 11th frame on the window, right? So you have a chance to tick until 11th frame, right? Are you following?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that at all.
This is designed by the game. This is not something I'm making up right now. This is designed by the game. This means even when your opponent is coming to you to throw you, you have a kind of time to react to the throw. 5 frame window is not really a reactionable window for the human being, but prior to the throw, they have to wake up and stuff, right? Unless it's wake up, like point one, wake up and stuff. So I'm talking about the regular neutral situation, right? When they go for the throw, they have to usually walk up towards you, and then you can kind of react to that. And then after you react to the walk, again, even when the throw is already active, you still have 4 more frames, 5 more frames where you can take, right?
Right.
So this is the mechanics of the throw, right? And with that, if I go back to the theory, you can take the opponent's meaty throw on the 11th frame, okay? So this means if you keep blocking up until 10th frame, right? And then if you press take on the 11th frame, right? What's gonna happen?
You take the throw.
Of course, but what if they do the meaty attack?
Well, you would have blocked the meaty attack.
Of course, right? Because you're blocking,
Yes.
right? Right? So
Yes.
that's why I kind of, put out this old idea of delayed tick over here again, for especially the new players, or even like medium level players who doesn't have, a chance to come across the game mechanics in detail, right? Delayed tick. So basically the idea of delayed tick is let's do the tick on the 11th frame of your wake up. Of course this sounds a little complex, but just, let's simplify it. Let's do a little delayed tick as opposed to, mashing throw on the wake up, right? You will get the feeling as you, try out this thing more and more, okay? And this way, basically, you can block their meaty attack and you can also take their meaty throw, right?
Right.
This will give you a chance to observe your opponents, okay? By doing this technique, this kind of technique, right? I know people are calling this kind of thing like option select and stuff, right? But aside from the terminology, the idea is now you are doing basically, one stone, 2 birds, right? Not really, because you are defending. Even when you take, you don't gain anything, right? You can't take any damage off of this move, right? Where you parry something, you can actually take damage off of that. When you do the delayed take, basically, you can't punish your opponents, right? But that's totally fine because that'll give you a safety, and then that'll give you a chance to observe what your opponent is doing, right? And then once you have more chances, that means you have more chance to dissect the variables that kind of opponents is kind of having, right? So let's say your opponent, you have to read the level of the opponent, and you have to have so many chances to observe and understand their level. And to do that, you want to do this kind of option because this won't give you any damage or any meter, right? But this will give you a time to understand the opponent, right? Therefore, this option is super important. And then I know I'm taking too long time for this one option. And then, if that's the case, is this a invincible option? There is no way for the opponents to shut down your delayed deck. What do you think, Atsu? Any ideas?
Would it be kind of would it be vulnerable to a delay attack?
Right. And the reason is,
Well, because if the opponent waits for, if somehow they predict delay tech, then as soon as you go for the tech, wouldn't that just mean that you, well, if you go for the tech and they go an attack at the same time, wouldn't that attack beat out the tech throw?
Yeah, that's exactly right? Because when you input tech here, right? Like I said, there is some frames needed for you to make this throw input active, right? It will be 3 frames. So this means basically if your opponent is going for delayed attack, right? That will come on the, let's say on the 11th frame again, right? This will beat your delayed tech, right? Because when you input the tech, you are vulnerable to anything else until this is gonna be actually the the active throw, right? This is just an input. You just started preparing for the actual throw, but the throw hasn't happened yet. So you are vulnerable. Therefore, they have to start using the delayed attack to shut down your delayed attack. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Right. Then let's go back to the first options. Reversal attack, reversal throw, right? We said, oh, this can only prevent, one out of two initial options, initial attacker's options, midi attack, midi throw, right? But actually, this reversal attack, reversal throw can shut down the delayed attack from your opponent, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? So I think overall, right, I just wanted to talk about the mechanics of the wake up. I know this might be a same old story for players who have been playing long time, and also maybe for the good players. Maybe you guys know about this more than me, right? But I really wanted to recap how the throw invincibility is working on the wake up, right? And also be more importantly, right? If one option can cover the both possible scenarios, that will give you a chance to observe your opponent. That will give you a better chance to win the race. So that's, I think, how this game should be played, right? If you wanna win consistently, right? If you do a crazy thing, of course, maybe sometimes you can beat a better player. But if you wanna beat them consistently, you have to take a better option in many situations. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Any questions so far?
I just want to say I'm super appreciative that you went over delayed tech, because that's actually a mechanic that I had no idea how it actually functioned in the game. I had heard that term before, but I always assumed that it was actually, since the meaty throw comes out like kind of on the 7th frame, right? My idea was that you block until that frame and then tech, but I had no idea that there was 5 more frames, which might not sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme can actually, it sounds like it can be kind of crucial that you have 5 more frames to delay your tech and keep on blocking. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
And exactly right. And now we are now talking about the wake up, but let's think this way. This can apply to any situations as long as you are defending. You are in a defense turn. I think you picked up the really good Ibuki player for the reference for this episode, right? Today. So we're gonna go over his match later on, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we take a look at his match, he is doing exactly what I said here. Okay? Definitely they are doing this kind of thing. After playing this game for 20 years, they are still using this technique. By the way, there is an advanced course of this defense mechanic, right? So if you want to learn about the advanced technique, please apply for the course. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I won't fake anything from this, but I'm just saying there is an advanced technique on top of this one, right? I want to talk about it at some point, but let's definitely start with this basic. This is crucial. Like I said, even Japanese top players are still using this technique here and there, right? So this is super important. And again, this is not only when you are waking up, but you can use this also in the neutral. You don't need to mash throw because you have enough time to react to their, woke up. Then you can react to their, kind of walking, and then press the button as late as possible. That's better. And then also one more interesting thing is, as you can see here, there is a missing part on the sixth frame, right? I'm gonna move the cursor here. On the sixth frame, which is actually the the second frame of the startup of the throw, right? So there is a 1 frame gap, as you can see. Can you see that here?
Yes.
So there is 1 frame window where you cannot take your opponent throw. Isn't this crazy? Do you know why?
I have no idea.
I have no idea too. This was a glitch. This was a glitch, right? This is a well-known glitch. So there is a 1 frame where you can't take if you take little area than the opponent's actual throw, right? So this is another reason you wanna delay your take, because if you choose the first window of take window, right? First part of this window, you might fall into this trap where you are taking but take doesn't happen. That's where people are always saying I taked, right? I taked. Yeah, you did, but it was too early. So it's on you, to be honest. You did take too early as opposed to waiting and delaying it, right? So that's a mistake. Of course, still this happens among top players. So this is a very annoying glitch, to be honest. But this is another reason. Whenever you take in your defense turn, you should delay your take as much as possible. You shouldn't mash your take. Woke up throw is reactionable. You can react, right? You cannot react. What you cannot react is when they walk up towards you and walk back again, which is called shimmy, right? When they start using shimmy, you can't react to the shimmy, right? So that's the problem. That's but the high level stuff, right? So we're gonna start with the basic for now, and where I'm saying let's use the very end tail of the take window to take your opponent through, to make your defense safe, and to make your game plan more consistent. Okay?
Makes sense.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. This is a lot to process, but I definitely feel like if I kind of dedicate some time to understanding all the options presented, even just on Wake Up, that would complement the whole 80-20 mentality really well, and it would help me out a lot.
Cool. Very cool. And also, I think chat is having us lots of comments. Sorry, I'm too excited to talk about the theory mechanic because I have love to this game. So I'm sorry, I kind of not, I'm not picking up the comments right now. So if you have some chance to read through the comments, and if there's any good comments that might be helpful for people and yourself, please feel free to just let me know. Okay, we want to actually discuss with everybody who has interest in this kind of activity together with us. So thanks again for watching, guys. And with that said, let's summarize. Okay, so now we understand the mechanics. We understand what is effective, sort of, right? So let's go to the summary slide. Okay. By the way, before going there, completely out of the blue, let me add one more option. Reversal jump. In the corner, I would highly recommend to do the jump over. But this is another story. This is a whole another story. This might complicate the discussion. So let's take it back for now. And then let me actually go back to what Atsu did against FM1 once again before going to the summary slide. Let's go back to the game review. Oops. Oh, sorry. My nice little demons were sticking out. Maybe.
Plenty of emotion there.
Yeah, maybe he was getting a little emotional about our theory, I guess. So okay. Okay. So, anyways, go back to this point, the very first moment of the round. You got thrown. Okay, so this was kind of fine. You whiffed the roundhouse and he reacted, and then he threw you, which is fine, right? Take it. The problem is here. Wake up. He threw. You could have shut down this option by using crouch check. Simple as that. By using delayed crouch check here, you could have shut down this. Would you agree after our discussion?
Yes.
Right? This is completely unnecessary cost you took here because there was no way he could have the effective offense off of this dash, dash. Because think about it. If you want to beat your crouch take, what would he need to do? Again, to recap, what would be his option to beat your delayed crouch take?
A delay attack.
Right, but can you imagine like anyone else is gonna do the delayed attack after throw after dash?
Yeah, that would be a huge brain play. That would be superhuman type play.
Right. That only happens in the very like edge moment among top players. Not right now because now he's also trying to read your level. Right, you are on the same page, on the same level at this point. But you kind of, did a giveaway by easily getting thrown. This would give him a lot of maybe assuring feeling, I guess. And then you also eat the meaty attack. Right? Let me recap here. Actually, let me do the slow-mo. So he threw you, and then you were thrown again, and then you ate some medium kick again. And what you are doing at this moment was actually you are mashing crouch light punch as reversal, as you just mentioned before. You said this is one of your toolkit. By the way, I'm not criticizing. Don't get me wrong, okay? I know you are a very talented player. So what I'm saying here is basically let's streamline your options. So you did the light punch here, and then it was beaten by knee kick, and then when you eat anything else on crouch, the damage is gonna be like 125%, right? It's gonna be increased in this game. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I did know.
Okay, so that's why crouch is dangerous. The damage is
Right.
gonna increase if you eat anything else on crouch. That's why the damage here was huge. This is more than usual. It's a
More
huge
than
damage.
usual. He's low life is not good.
Not good. Therefore, maybe you want to implement the delayed crouch take to prevent both scenarios.
Yeah, that would have done me a lot of good in this match, especially with all the dash up throws in the meaty situations or even in the reset situations. Yeah, that would have helped a lot.
Even here, right? You blocked. This was great, but you mashed the throw before his throw even starts. Over here, take a look at it carefully. You have to dissect what you're doing and what your opponent is doing. He did knee kick, he did throw, but you are already mashing throw even before he started throw. This is what I called too early tech, right? This is too early. This should have been much delayed, much later timing.
Yeah, it makes sense now. For sure, definitely.
Right. So that's how this first round went. At least to my view, that was why this wasn't going in your favor, right? As a low health character, again, I'm gonna emphasize the same thing. You want to take advantage of your mobility, not your health, not your power, right? The mobility, right? So you really want to take care of your health, take care of your defense. Therefore, let's go back to the lesson slide again. Where was that? So we talked about the chart over here. Then what comes next is let's summarize the options we have talked about today. Okay, so here is a chart where you can read which options are safer compared to other options and against what options from your opponent. Okay? By the way, I'm gonna randomly pick up the comment from the chat. Crouch medium gig. Sorry, I don't want to pick up right now. Sorry for the confusion. So let's go back to the slide. So overall, delayed tech can beat meaty attack, meaty throw, right? Whereas reversal throw can beat meaty throw, delayed attack, and reversal attack can beat only meaty throw. And then you guys' favorite move, including myself, the New York wake up party is gonna beat only meaty attack with 50% of chance, and then this is completely vulnerable to meaty throw, right? This can't beat any other options than meaty attack. Okay? So this is why you want to start with the delayed tech. And then, once again, when we think about the probability of your opponent's moves, right? I put their options in the order of the probability. They will most likely go for meaty attack first. Then the next option would be a meaty throw. And then there is like far less chance of they doing delayed attack. Like I said, this is a very, very complex idea, right? This is gonna happen only at the high level. Even at the high level, this won't be the primary choice, if you will. And then the last option is also shimmy, but let's forget about this thing for now, okay? Shimmy, delayed attack, both are very strong at the high level, but even at the high level, people are basically starting with meaty attack, meaty throw, just like we saw in your match versus FM Guam, right?
Right.
And because of this, definitely you want to cover the very first option from your opponent, which is meaty attack. Therefore, delayed tech is the best choice, right? And then I little bit touched on the reversal jump, right? I want to talk about this a little bit. So I think this option is always a little bit underestimated among players. But to me though, as long as you can read meaty attack won't come for whatever reason, right? Whether you are reading they are going for delayed attack, or whether the moment is a little like weird vibes, and then you feel like your opponent will this time the meaty attack. There are so many situations of that, right? Sometimes they mistime meaty attack. So if that's the case, I definitely recommend to do the reversal jump, but not jump, back jump, forward jump. Okay, forward jump. This is super duper important. Let me go to the training mode once again. Okay, I won't take too much time for this one right now, but in the corner, right? You guys I'm sorry to be too blunt, right? But let's say, including myself, you guys are always mashing, punch, throw, whatever, right? On the wake up, and what's worse, DP, right? That's fine if you read something specific, but to me, let's start with delayed crouch tech, okay? Okay, so let me actually set the opponent as maybe, I think this should be a meaty throw here. Look at this. I think, sorry, this is maybe a little bit choppy right now, but please bear with me. Once again, there is a early tech and late tech. Let's go for the delayed tech, the latest timing. Look at this. This is a very, very late timing as opposed to this. If it's too early, even maybe sometimes you can throw them before their start is going to be active. Right? I think maybe this might be a little tricky to tell, but definitely you can tell on the cab, on our better training mode. My PC is now being a little choppy because I'm streaming, so I'm sorry about this thing. But basically, let's use the latest timing. I can't even do the quick rise. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad. But let's use the latest timing. And now go back to the point. If you read they are gonna do the delayed attack, or they will mistime the meaty attack, or they will go for even throw, right? In those situations, you can just do jump over. Okay? Also, especially as a bookie player, you really want to take advantage of this option. Because when you jump over, the good thing is you can switch the situation. So many players are doing back jump in the corner when you jump, right? Which is not so bad occasionally. But jump over is way better option usually because you can switch the position, right? Simple as that. You are now having the corner in your back, but by just simply jumping over your opponent, you can switch the position. Therefore, I want to put emphasis on this option. And then, as a bookie player, I'm not sure if you know about this, but you can do a reverse like super in the air, right? And then that'll go in a different direction like this, right? So this means even when they react to your jump out with, let's say, fears or something, you can basically cleanly beat their fears, right? Anti-air with your super. And then they will take like 30% damage or something like that. Like 30% of their stamina will be, taken out. So jump over and using their air super is really, really strong. But this is a Ibuki specific. But this jump over part is actually universal. Every character, every player should take advantage of this option. More than wake up parry, or wake up mashing button, wake up throw. Again, don't get me wrong. There is a situation you can take advantage of those options. Every option is valid. But I'm just talking about something that is really underestimated and also maybe misunderstood. You should just jump over. Simple as that. Okay? And now of course this is like kind of prologue of an advanced technique later on, but not today. Maybe in the following episodes we will also talk about the defensive ideas once again, right? And then in that episode probably I will talk about the more, let's say, effective or maybe efficient defensive ideas. But even players that use the most advanced techniques, they will still do reversal jump and delayed crouch take. So slow, right? This timing. This is still effective because you can shut down like multiple different scenarios with one option. So this is super effective. And let's go back to the I think the chart again. I think it's kind of getting late. Maybe 9 p.m. in your time, Atu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just about.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start wrapping up the discussion. But any questions around the options here, and also like reversal jump or whatever, if you have any questions.
So the reversal jump, is that the same idea as guard jump, or is that just like an instant jump as opposed to guarding or blocking for a few frames?
Very good, very, very good question. Excellent question. I think you will win the next Jazzy finale, I guess. Excellent.
Incredible.
Excellent question. No, I'm saying just reversal. So in an ideal world, I think the most of the people in the chat might think the same thing. In an ideal world, yes, you should go for guard jump as opposed to reversal jump for many reasons. But still, even when in the world where guard jump is like a kind of common technique, right? Let's hypothetically think about that world. Still, reversal jump will be needed for reasons. So there is a little complex reasoning behind this, but let's say for now, basically what this chart is, its meaning is if you use both options, right? Delayed tech, also reversal jump, this will basically cover any scenarios that could happen. Okay? That's the more important part. And then as for your question, I don't think I addressed your question actually, but this is not guard jump. I'm just saying the true reversal jump. And then let's talk about the guard jump later on. But I think definitely you want to start with delayed tech first because this is very useful, and then you can do this like in any moment as opposed to guard jump. So this is anyways necessary. Now one last thing, sorry guys, it's getting into already 2 hours. I think maybe I will wrap up soonish, but just one more thing I want to mention is, as well as reversal jump, right? You also have one frame airborne moves. Did you know some of your moves will make you airborne in a one frame? Did you know that?
I did. I'm very happy to say that this is one thing that I do know about my.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. So I'm not sure if you are using this option, but when you wake up, let's just do the simple, the reversal stuff, right? Just do this thing, for instance, because this is gonna make you airborne within the frame. So even when they do the meaty attack, it'll be an air reset, and then the timing is gonna be messed up. So there's a high chance for you to be able to reset the situation. So this is also very effective. But I think this might be also a little bit, too much over preaching for today, right? So let me stop around here. But this same principle go for other characters as well. For instance, Chun-Li, if you use Chun-Li, you can do forward roundhouse, which is one frame airborne, which is super strong because against meaty attack, that move will create the air reset situation. You won't get hit by the full combo, right? It's not the full combo when you get hit by something when you're doing the airborne moves. So that's why this option is also very strong. This one can also beat any other options, including shimmy, including delayed attack. So this one is very good. But let's skip this part for now. I think we will come back to this idea in the following episodes. And then, with this said, the real one last, trick from me is, let's go back to the training mode once again. This is not today's main subject, but kind of like, the problem of delayed tech is actually also, 1 second. Actually, against shimmy and down parry, this is kind of vulnerable. Because I'm not sure if you can you see the training screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the last lesson. So when you do the delayed crouch tech, simply just input this move as a follow-up of this. Sorry, this. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
So the idea here is, when you do this, if the opponents do the throw, of course it's gonna be a tech. But let's say they do parry, right? You will be getting punished in the regular situation. But by inputting this move as a follow-up, right? Because this is an airborne move, you're gonna be in the air when they are trying to punish you. Okay?
Also covers even more options now.
Exactly. So you can think about this as a one single option. So maybe as an Ibuki player, you want to always think about not only crouch dead tech, but also this follow-up special. And how this works is in the real world, it's gonna be like this. Did you see? So Ryu went for the down parry as a read against your delayed crouch tech, but because you input the special, which is the one frame airborne, you are already in the air, and that will give you a chance to punish his donkey. Let me do that again. Oops, I actually messed up, as I should, as I would. Did you get that?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so overall, sorry, I think I'm monologuing too much. Overall, let's go back to the final chart.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this might be sounding a little crazy, but
No, not crazy in a bad way, just crazy that I never knew I had all this. Like, I just was stuck in like caveman brain mode and being like, oh, well, I'll parry it, but this is crazy. They're like very advanced. Well, not necessarily advanced, but just options that I didn't know I had that I'll definitely need to study.
Right. So for now, I think you can start with maybe the timing of crouch blade tech, right? So that you can avoid the same scenario you are going through against FM1, right? That's number one. And then in the future, you might want to revisit the idea of canceling into one frame airborne, right? And now, this is not only for Ibuki. Like I said, other characters can do the same. Excuse me. For instance, if you are using Urian, you can do the same with your headbutt. If you are playing Goki, Akuma, you can do the demon flip with the same principle. And then, even with maybe, let's say you are a Ken player, you want to do the canceling into Light Punch DP. Light Punch DP isn't actually a one frame airborne, but it's so fast, right? Or maybe even you can use the Fierce DP, but I wouldn't recommend to do that for reasons. But my thought is this way, this one option can cover even more broader options from your opponent. So you have to layer these kind of things on on one option. Then you want to take time to observe your opponent, and then you want to enjoy the game longer, right? You don't wanna lose. You can lose, but you wanna lose in 10 seconds each round, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think that's it for today. I think we covered a lot of things today, and then I know we are almost running over. It's already past 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Pacific, right? So we have to eat dinner, and also maybe you might not have a chance to eat dinner yet. So yeah, I want to.
It's all good. This was worth it for real.
Yeah, and excuse me again. Yeah, I'm still coughing after. Oh, anyways, so that's pretty much it today. So let's revisit. Number one is rule 80-20. Let's focus on observing your opponent as opposed to proactively hitting your opponent, which is a very, very bad idea unless you are, omnipotent or something. Very bad idea, right? Let's be humble, right? Let's be humble as a human being. Then let's try to read the opponent, and then let's stay on the ground. Like I said, air, your flexibility will be limited, right? Let's stay on the ground to do this, to execute this rule, okay? This can go for anybody, any character. And number two, wake up mechanics. So we went over the kind of details of the mechanics behind the game, and then we kind of streamlined the defensive options. Again, this is maybe kind of like a basic for many players. You guys might think, oh, I already know this. This is not so useful for me. Yeah, if so, maybe you are very good, right? Maybe much better than me, or no, I'm just kidding. But maybe you are really good, so it's okay. But for the new players, especially the ones who started newly or who are kind of learning about the game in depth, I hope this was a useful informative, details and stuff, right? So that's number two. And then the idea is, these two are going hand in hand, right? Because to execute 80-20 rule, you have to be very, very cautious about your option, meaning you want to be as safe as possible in any situations, as opposed to always going for, random parry here, right? Again, random parry can cover only half of the option. One option with the 50% chance, right? Which is
that's crazy.
Very, very bad. Which is very bad.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Uncool.
Very uncool. Exactly. Right? I don't have my demon, in this display, but probably, I have to summon lots of demons down the line.
Yeah,
you guys,
I can see it. I'll pretend.
if you guys keep doing the random parry. But let's streamline the defensive options. Let's think about how to prolong your life, how to extend your life, right? And then let's be smart with those options. So I think that's it for now. Arthur, do you still wanna take a 3 minutes watch at the top players match you submitted, or you wanna just wrap up because we are already past 2 hours? It's up to you.
I'm honestly okay with wrapping up. I feel like this all the information that we went over, I can really just go back and rewatch the video and then look at not only the footage that I sent to you, but the myriad of footage available, and just kind of pick apart the habits of different players and see kind of how they use their wake up, how they play reactively versus proactively. I think I have a lot of work to do, but I'm really happy that.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, then guys, maybe let's wrap up for today's episode. One last thing. Look at this. So can you maybe explain about this match? So who are playing in the screen, Atu? Who did you pick up?
Oh, so this is a very, very talented Ibuki player and Ryu player from Japan. The Ibuki is Abu, and the Ryu is Kuni. And I picked this match because it's the same matchup as the game of me versus Juan. And I felt like Abu was reacting, or was able to play the match more patiently than I was, and was able to kind of develop a strategy against Kuni that ended up making for a really, really good first to two between the two of them.
Right, makes sense. So I think maybe you can revisit this video footage based on today's discussion, and then maybe you will find lots of things. And then if not, just let me know. We can keep discussing. Just one thing I want to verify is over here. He did tech, but isn't this a delay tech like discussed?
Yeah. Wow. There it is.
Like right out of the gate in the round 1, in the wake up situation, exactly the same as where you were positioned. Let's take a look again. The random parry and EX donkey and meaty attack into throw here. The throw tech was, even the looks of this tech was so weird because it was super late. The animation was almost messed up. Look at this.
Yeah.
We just took a look at your play versus FM1, and then you input the throw too early, and then you are basically thrown after his meaty attack, right? So the very similar situation as this, right? Let's do the slow-mo. So this is called the tick throw, right? One light kick into throw, but he was definitely selecting the last frame and the tail of the tech window as opposed to the RE window, okay? So this is always how you should play, meaning, covering as many options as you can, right? And then playing patiently, like you said. And with that, I think we can wrap up today's episode. And I'm sorry I couldn't pick up the comments towards the end. I think I was too excited to talk about the theory, but I will definitely read through all the comments you guys are giving us. And then please give us a feedback if if this was helpful, if this was just redundant, or I don't like you Daisuke, anything is fine. Okay, you are so random Daisuke. Yeah, I know I am, right? But that's how I'm always going to the just the finale as a finalist. You guys understand how to have to understand how to be random as effective as possible. But anyways, thanks for watching and thanks again. And then please maybe give me comments, feedback, and if you want to be on the show, like Atsu, just there is a entry form for this show. So either maybe hitting me up or fill out the entry form, and then yeah, just let me know. Okay, Atu, any final comments?
Honestly, just thank you so much for doing this for me and for all of our new players. I know you said that you are worried that, or not worried, but you know that a lot of people know the wake up mechanics that you're talking about. But honestly, I learned so much just from today, and I know that many new players will also gain the same benefits as I did. So just thanks so much for taking the time and helping the, I guess, new generation out. It's really inspiring, so just thank you.
Oh, I think the same goes for you. It was really inspiring. You already climbed up to the almost like the last part of the bracket in the just the finale at your first year of playing this game. It was really fascinating, and then like you, there are so many talented new players, and also like so many mid-level, like high-level players. They are still improving. I think the game in game itself is evolving, right? So I just want this to be a part of this great dynamics and community. So yeah, thank you for joining the show again. Really appreciate it, and then really great play, and then I hope we can play together soon.
Definitely, thank you so much.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So we're gonna do the next episode next week, I think. So please wait for the update from me. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Thanks, guys.
We await your return, warrior.